All right, take a good seat. Begin to connect to your breath. And as you connect with the breath, just allow that scan of the body, the physical body, the feeling body, the emotional body, the mind, and the spirit. And let the breath wash through them all, bringing a sense of softness, of just arriving. Not that you have to fix anything, change anything, just to be fully present in this moment. And then draw the palms together in front of the heart center. One soft Om. Om. Release the hands. Flutter the eyes open. So we'll start on your back. It's a dangerous thing to do for an early morning practice. I'm just acknowledging that it's dangerous because sometimes we lose people. They just stay there, but we'll move a bit, move things away from you enough that we're going to do some kind of snow angels and rolling back and forth. A gentle way to, all right. And then, yeah, Shelley, you'll need that. Okay, have your strap near you. Whoa, baby. Oh. Spiky ball escape. All right. Yeah, come on down. And take a moment with the knees bent, feet on the floor. Just gently, it's like little mini windshield wipers. You're not dropping your knees all the way. You're just rolling to the left sacrum, the right, the left, just rolling a little bit back and forth over the back of the pelvis. Little bitty, we'll get bigger windshield wipers eventually, but right now, not so much. All right. Take the strap, place it around the soles of the feet. Slide your hands down the strap so the elbows can come to the floor, and let up on the strap enough that you have like mat width, wider than hip level. And just create some tension, not so you're having to use your shoulders, but just by locking your elbows into your side and pressing your shoulder blades, pressing your elbows into the floor, snuggle your shoulder blades underneath you. And then push the outside of the feet into the strap. The knees are bent. So you're pushing into the strap. And then on your inhale, you just release a little bit. You don't really see anything, but exhale, push, and let the knees widen. Make sure the knees are out. Bend your knees a little more, Sarah. Like a fair bit, almost a happy baby. Oh. Yeah, sorry. Knees bent quite a bit. I failed to mention that. Not full happy baby. We're not there yet, but like half a baby. Bend the knees and push out. Oh, get into the tush there. You feel it in the glutes, and you release on the inhale, and exhale, slowly push out. There's no herky-jerky motion. You're just pushing out. Make sure your shoulders aren't doing it. And if you kind of double wrap your hands, your fingers don't have to get into the act either too much. And you just keep pulsing here slowly. Widen the knees. Really push the knees apart as well. Get the knees right in line with the ankles. Oh. All right. Oh. Release the strap. And draw the left knee in towards the chest, and the right arm scoots under the left knee as you roll to your right side, Roll to your right side. Your right arm is holding under the left thigh. Then stretch your left arm out in a T position. Oh, mama. Oh. So it's a very nice, the bottom leg, your right leg, can either be bent or straight. Play around a little bit with what gives you the optimum. Sometimes straightening, I can't get into my hip as the left hip as much if I straighten the right leg. The left foot and leg are just relaxed. You don't need to do anything with them, but you play with what feels best for your down leg, the right leg. And then open the shoulders back, both shoulder blades on the floor. Even if it means the left leg starts to come away from the floor, it's fine. I just feel that nice stretch on the hip flexor here. This is a great bedtime stretch to do, you know, where you're pulling it over and then release. Place both feet, bend both knees, bump your hips in line, get straight. And what I failed to mention on the first one is if you bump your hips over, so if you push into your feet, lift your hips and bump them to the right, then draw your right knee in. The left hand arm holds under, the left hand holds under the right thigh, and you roll to the left. The right arm reaches out to get both shoulder blades on the floor. And then you pull the right knee as close to your chest, to your left armpit actually, as is workable for you. And if your arms are short and the hips are really tight, you can slide a strap and extend, call it the arm extender. And then again, on this side, play with what you do with your down leg with the left leg. Do you straighten it? Do you bend it? Just maybe you move it a little behind you, maybe you move it a little in front of you. Now roll the outer right hip away from the right ribs. Make as much space between the right hip bone and the right armpit. Lengthen the side body. Pull the outer right hip away from your ribs. And then you want a little juice, you pull the knee, the right knee a little closer to the left armpit as you roll the outer right hip away. It's little micro adjustments to get into the spot. Oh. And release. Come back up. Cross your left ankle over the right thigh, that number 4 position, arms in a T position. Press into your right foot, bump your hips over to the left just a little bit, so that then as you roll the leg unit over to the right, your left foot starts to come towards the floor, and the outside of the right leg is all the way on the floor. And then push the top of your right knee into the left ankle and the left ankle back into the right knee. Little bit of pressure there, not crazy. Both shoulder blades on the floor, and then turn the head to look away from the legs to your left. And then turn the head to look straight back up. So as you exhale, the head turns and looks towards your left hand. As you inhale, the head comes to center. Do that a few times, slow and gentle, just to work the neck out. Oh, it's starting to feel good. All right, the next time the head is center, bring your legs back up to center and even out. Just take a moment to notice what's going on. What's going on? What's happening? All right, right ankle over the left thigh. Press into your left foot, bump your hips to the right. I always forget which side to bump them. Stretch your arms out in a T and drop the leg unit over to the left. So the right sole of the foot's on the floor or close to it. And the outside of the left leg is all the way on the floor. Just let it relax down. And then snuggle your shoulder blades underneath you and get your right shoulder blade on the floor. And then slowly, as you exhale, look towards your right hand. Inhale, back up to the ceiling. Exhale to the right. Very gentle inhale to the ceiling. Continue that a few times. Very gentle. Nothing crazy. All right. And then come back up. Draw your knees up and roll to a side. Any side will do. Roll to your side and use your hands and come to sit and sit on a blanket. Have your strap near you. Whoa. It's a runaway butterfly clip. Okay. All right. So you're sitting up on a blanket, or you might sit up on 2 blocks, Shelly, if you want to. That might help if the hips are really tight. 2 blankets, 2 blankets, 2 blocks. I mean, not 2 blocks stacked that way, but 2 blocks stacked a long way. Yeah, but that's good. 2 blankets is good. And then you're out kind of like spider legs. Flex the feet. So you're not the widest. I can go wider, but you're also not too conservative either. So find that we need more moderates, you know, come into the middle road. Flex the feet. Put the strap around, and the knees and the toes stay pointed up to the ceiling, not out to the side. And then now you're riding, you know, you've got a carriage with 4 horses, 8 horses. This is you got to take care of it. All right. So as you've got some tension on it, but we'll release it a little bit as I go. Push the feet out, and if they don't straighten, that's okay. What's important, and then pull the heels back up. It's just a slow movement as best you can. It's hard on the if your feet are on the mat. That's true. And push out. So you keep going. Your legs are pushing out away from the midline. So Patrick, try not to go out. Go more neutral. It's just going to be weirder. And then you can lean back. Yeah, right. You can lean back as much as you need to, so we're not rounding over. So, you know, I wet the song, she'll be coming around. Yeah, let's not go there. Now the earworm is set. Oh, so you should feel a little bit of fatigue in the hip flexors, and I'm feeling sort of the calves here. So it's not as much of a stretch. It is a stretch. You're stretching, but you're not at your max. Lift the heart. Try not to do this with your shoulders. Try to keep the elbows down, and you just kind of give a little bit here, right? Then the next time you can keep the knees bent, and you can start to work the hands down toward, keep the knees a lot bent, and the elbows on the inside of the knees, and push the knees into the elbows into the, or arms into the knees, knees into the arms. Do you feel that kind of, I call it the lock, and it feels deep in the hips. It really opens hip. Now lengthen up to it. Yeah. And then you just start to pull the chest through, not to round. If you round the back, you don't go any further. So in some cases, Patrick, you're really tight, and I'm like kind of injured, so I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just going to work here. I can go lower usually, but I'm feeling fine right here. I got a lot going on. Yeah, it's a good stretch, isn't it? But it's also an eccentric stretch, so you're engaging the muscle at the same time. All right. And eccentric stretches, they are good. Otherwise, you can hurt yourself. All right. Come around. Oh, wait. There's Ginsu knives. Okay. You may want to slide off your blankets because you will go off anyway. So this is that sort of, I call it the rolling open pigeon, or I don't know, we have to find a better word for it. But you'll drop the legs to the left and just turn around. We'll start slow. And then inhale, come back to center. So your feet stay wide. If the feet go narrow, you're gonna lose and that they can come far away from you. So your feet, you've got long legs, so bring them out. There you go. And so just drop back and forth. It's like very slow, wide open windshield wipers. Inhale, come back up to center. And you will find your bum kind of travels. You'll start to come towards me, but just do gentle, nothing too intense. Use your arms as you need to. As you move through this, you may try to play. I'm not sure I'm going to do it today, but I'm going to play with no hands, maybe a hand or two occasionally. See if you can, oh, you have to use core here when you're rolling back, and to open to the other side. When you come up, you engage the core, pull the belly button into the spine, and lengthen the side body. And you will start, you'll crawl forward. You'll just crawl off your mat, and that's fine. You can bump yourself back if it bothers you. Okay. The next time you're on your left side, you can adjust yourself as you need to. The legs are 90-90, and lift the left hip a bit and come down. Now you may, now I say it, want your blocks under your forearms. You're trying to put the midline of your torso right along the thigh bone. So you're coming right over the thigh bone, right off the knee. It's a very open pigeon kind of stretch. It gets into the piriformis. So your legs are like 90-90. So this is more traditional pigeon. You're doing like about a 90-degree here and about a 90-degree here. Not like we're going to pull out the protractor and measure it. If you can pull your front knee up more. So you're down here, try to pull it up. Yeah. Then you can bend the back knee. Now you're trying to come out over the thigh bone. Like you have the midline right here up the middle is trying to line up as best it can. And you can have the blocks as high as you need them or not blocks at all. Keep the feet engaged, particularly on the front leg. So the feet are flexed, and you're on the baby toe side of the front foot and the big toe side of the back foot. Press down with the baby toe side of the front foot and take, the inner front thigh, the left thigh, towards the floor and move the hip crease back. The back leg is relatively passive, but the foot's flexed and you're pressing gently with the inner back knee. I love this. This is my new favorite. This will really get into the piriformis and the sciatica stuff. All right, come back around and drop it over to side B. Again, 90-90. Cramps, release. So the back leg, the knee joint is about 90 degrees, and the front leg, the knee joint is about 90 degrees. And if you're not sure, put a block in there. And then I have to lift the front hip and move it back a bit so I can rotate the spine. So the midline of my torso is lining up parallel with the midline of the knee. So Shelley, take your body towards the windows. You can be in that position, but try to line this part up with this thigh bone, right? Better. Yeah, better. So you want to go out over this, and that's fine. So here, you are over here, which is fine. But yeah, try it. Just try it. Okay. You pull your blocks up one notch higher. There you go. You got it. Take your back leg back behind you a little bit more. There you go. And so you're just heavy on the front leg bum. Your back leg bum is totally off the floor. Both feet are flexed. You're pressing the baby toe side of the front foot into the floor and pulling the outer front hip crease back. Then the back leg, the inner knee and the inner edge of the foot are just gently pressing, a little bit of pressure. It's not killer pressure, but to know that they're engaged on some level. You can come down as low as you want to go. You don't have to have the blocks. See, Patrick, you say you're tight, but you're easily coming down all the way to the floor there. So your hamstrings, they're really tight. Man.
Yeah. Well,
Well, and the adductors, yeah. But your hip joints, I'm saying, are pretty loose. Yeah, yeah. All right. Oh, come out of that. All right. Come to hands and knees. And unload into a downward facing dog. Oh, yeah. We've tried to wake everything up gently. Pedal your dog out. Walk it. The granddaughter's dog that they begged for, but no one will walk it. Just finally gave up and went outside and took a swim in the pool because she needed some exercise. She does that fairly regularly. All right, and then just straighten. The legs don't have to be straight, but come to steady, stop pedaling. And you can lift the heels, bend the knees a little bit, hug the heels towards the midline without moving them to the midline. So you don't want to see the heels. If you're looking back, you shouldn't see your heels. Hide them behind your ankles, but try to hug them together without seeing them. Then widen the knees apart. Inner thighs move back and way apart. Lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And then start to stretch the heels towards the floor. Maybe you straighten, maybe you don't. That's not the point. Just see where you need to go there. All right, walk your hands back to your toes. Forward bend or half forward bend. Half forward bend is with the forearms on the thighs. Full forward bend is legs straight. But here's the thing, if you do either of these forward bends too aggressively, you'll actually hurt yourself. So you press into the four corners of the feet, hug the heels towards each other isometrically, and take the inner thighs back, pull the belly button up and in, use your core here, so the legs are strong as the upper body folds over. Hands on your hips, come up halfway, soften the knees, shrug your shoulders towards your ears, lift the head of the arm bones towards the sky, and on your next inhale, push down, use the legs to hinge from the hips. All right, take your ball, just rub it between your hands for a little bit, just to wake them up quickly. They're pretty awake, we've been using them, but the feet need some love. All right, love on the feet a little bit. Press. Yeah, moan. So you do the press first. Get a lot of circulation into the fascia on the bottom of the feet. I know, right? It can be tight. You start moving, zigzagging across the bottom of the foot, pressing the inner arch, and right in the center, the bubbling spring. I know, right? Listen, I find lots of, oh no, that's the spot. Oh no, there's the spot. Just keep finding the spot. Nice posture, Shelley. I saw that. Beautiful. Well, see, that, I know. So you just think the whole day, I want to see the pool. So Shelley just like lifted up, and I thought, oh, she's thinking about her posture. And she said, no, I just want to see the pool. And her posture was beautiful. So go through your day looking for the pool. That's it. We found it, the answer. I know, right? Make the face, find it to where you make the face. And then if you haven't already started rinsing and scribbling. But this is really helpful for the sciatica and hip stuff and hamstrings. It really helps to release the hamstrings a bit. All right. Oh, I know, right? I would say if you travel, take one of these with you. It'd be the one best thing you can do, because you can always do it. It works well on carpet. You don't have to, you can do it anywhere. And it doesn't take up a lot of space. And that would be the happiest thing you could do for your body. Especially traveling, because you're on your feet differently and you're carrying things. I know, right? I get lighter and lighter. My suitcases are like so tiny because it's like, I believe You carry what you pack. Like if you can't carry what you pack, don't expect all these other people to help you. Yeah, don't take it. So as I get older, it's like it gets tinier and tinier. All right, switch. You have switched to the other one, right? Okay. Oh, that's so sweet. It just wakes up the whole body just spins up. All right. Now take a blanket and you want to roll. So if you guys have a towel at home, a big beach towel will help, but you want to roll it as tightly as possible. Whoops. So I need to roll towards the fringe here so it doesn't. There we go. All right. Place it on the mat and you put your heels on it out to the outer ends. This is why you don't want it to be the narrow one. So Shelley, be easy on this because your knees are, yeah. So wide, wide. And just come down to the, like, I'm thinking about this, kind of a semi-squat. You gotta press into your heels and the balls of your feet evenly. The knees are out over the ankles. Patrick loves that, working out his feet. He says, I'm not quitting, man. I'll go on without. Yeah. And Patrick, let's see how this works. I may roll the blanket differently for you because you're taller, but this might work. All right. Then you may stay here and stick your bum way back. Ooh, lengthen the spine. You falling off there, Shelley? All right, Shelley, here's what you can do. Turn and face the window. Turn your roll so that you can reach out and hold that little ledge there, which will be perfect. All right. No, it doesn't. Let's just see how it feels for you, okay? Like if you just can't get anywhere. Now, you might be able to come down a little lower and get your elbows on the inside and press. May be quite a ways away from the floor, but push your knees apart and the knees squeeze back in. Oh, come up and rest. You need to be wider footed there, Shelley. And you can hold on. You don't need to pull your arms on the inside. Come up a bit. We're getting down there. That's exactly where we're going, Patrick. So we're working slowly down to a squat. Now, here's the thing. The classic is where the feet are parallel, but that's pretty intense. You most likely will need to turn your feet out a little bit, but try not to get them like ballet out. Like turn them out a bit, hug the heels towards each other, take the bum back, come back into public bathroom squat. And maybe if you press your elbows into your knees and the knees into the elbows, and you stay right there, Shelley, you're good. That's perfect for you. Oh, yeah. And so we've got different variations here and they're perfect. So you just come to your variation. Oh, I know, right? This is stretching the top of my thighs a lot and the inner thighs. Yeah. Yep. And the IT band, absolutely. It'll get what you need. And then slowly, come up. All right. These are all therapeutics for me. So, yeah, I know. Listen, hips, if the hips are tight, it's all going to go to crap anyway. Patrick, go get 2 more blocks because you're tall. You're going to need 2 more blocks. The rest of us mere mortals, you might need another block, but you're probably okay. Yeah, they're back there. All right, so if you step to the top of your mat, step your left leg back into a lunge and bring the blocks on the inside. They can be as high as you need them on the inside of the front leg. And just pause here a minute in a low lunge. Wiggle the back toes back a little bit. I'll come help you set up on this, Shelley. Move the one block, and Patrick, what you will do is put your blocks like an upside down T, because this edge of the tall block is just right above the kneecap. Right? So it's right here. Let me come help set you up on that. Yeah. Spin the back heel up. I'm taking this one away from you. Okay. Now I want this edge of the, where's your kneecap? Oh, sorry, too far. Okay, kneecap's right there. So this, we want, yeah, bring it down, and you might step your front foot forward a little bit more. So you don't, yeah. So you just want to create a little bit of pain right there. Got it? Yeah. Above the kneecap, not on it, but just right at the insertion point there. Okay, Shelley, let me, hang on. Spin this heel up as best you can. There you go. And then this part of the knee comes right there, but keep this leg forward a little bit more, or this leg back. I don't want this knee to come forward of your ankle.
Right.
Okay. You can put your left hand under the block, might be a little more secure.
Under the block?
No, never mind. Just hold what you got. Okay. And I think I'm going to pull you out of this one anyway. Yeah, come on out. All right. So when you, yeah, because I'm concerned that your knees are going to, especially since you're, so do you feel this across the, it's kind of intense. Okay. All right. Okay. Sarah's like, I got it, man. You're leaving me in it a long time. I got to have my turn. Okay. You can, I mean, I like to put my left hand, if my left leg's back, my left hand's on the block, the right elbow is on my thigh. I just find that this is a little easier, but Sarah's got this, which is great. If you're down here, hold what you got, right? But it's mainly the back leg. Let it be heavy. Let it be heavy. And release onto the block. Oh, yeah. All right, you've been in it a long time. Come down. Oh. But it helps stretch. Be careful too, Patrick, that this front knee does not go forward of the ankle. You want the ankle a little bit, almost tiny bit forward of the knee, in fact, not a lot. Yeah, you got it, you got it. There you go. You feeling it across? I mean, this is pretty intense, especially if you stay there a while. All right. Well, sometimes people feel a lot of pressure right here because the top, the insertion here of the quadricep can get very tight. So you're doing a little pressure release right there. Yeah, in pressure release. But then also you're working the front hip. So the front hip is getting a stretch. So jump switch. So Shelley, what I want you to do is just turn and do a lunge here, just in the best, you know, your foot's fairly close to the wall, and press down here and pull the shoulder blades back. Yeah.
It's much easier than that other side.
The other side, yeah. So sometimes people do the easy side first and they go, I don't know what this is about. And then the other side, and it just goes to show you that your sides are not symmetrical in value. Walk your front foot, Shelley, a little closer to the window. I mean, the wall. There you go. There you go. And lift your chest. Yeah, look for the pool. Look for the pool. Not to the pool, but there's a pool straight out in front of you. Can you find it? Look, it's right just over that fence. Can't believe she just stepped so beautiful. Can you find it there, Patrick? There you go. Yeah, the block does tilt a little bit sometimes, especially with long-legged people. But release it as best you can. Oh, yeah, for the tight side, this is a much better place to be. And so tight might be the top of the quadricep, or it might be that hip. So somewhere in there, it's just not moving. Yeah, quadriceps get very tight because they're big muscles, and we use them a lot to lift and go. And then, but if we don't release them, that gets weird. All right. Oh, yeah. So sweet. Okay. Change sides. Shelley, stay right there. So whatever leg was back, bring it forward, switch sides. And Shelley, what you'll do is from here, you'll just stay right there. You'll straighten the front leg and try to take your heart towards the love, the life sign. Right? So it's runner stretch. Holy moly. Back heel is up. Press into the front foot, lift the toes and pull the front heel back. Front leg is straight. Inner thighs are trying to widen apart. And the tailbone lengthens and stretch the heart forward. So you're not so much down yet. We can go down later, but since I'm having some sciatica issues, doing a full forward bend is not warranted. But if you're feeling like you really want to just totally fold over, go to it. Forward bends are great for sciatica, but if you do them wrong or too intensely. And then, Patrick, try to lengthen the spine, pull the shoulder blades on the back, and stretch your heart towards the kitchen, towards the water fountain. There you go. Without the chin, drop the chin a tiny bit. Take the heart, yeah, straighten the front leg. Come up on your tippy fingers so you have more room. Lift your back heel, that will give you more space. Yeah, lift the back heel high. Now straighten the, aha, yeah, do you feel that? That's beautiful. All right, slow-mo jump switch. Oh, you can come up if you need to, change sides in any way that works for you. Okay. Back heel stays high. That gives you a lot more space to be able to straighten the front leg. Press down into the foot first of the front foot and pull the front heel back isometrically. Inner front thigh moves down towards the floor and widen away from the other thigh, the back thigh. And then lift the sits bones and stretch the heart forward. So if you guys are at home and you've got a wall or a counter, it's what Shelly's doing over there is you're straightening the front leg and pressing down on maybe a counter height works really well. And then lengthen the spine. The heart lifts, not with the chin, the back of the neck stays long. If you need more space, lift the back heel even more. Another thing to do is to step the back foot up a little bit to give yourself a little narrower stance. Whew. All right, step forward, hands on your hips. Shrug your shoulders, lift the head of the arm bones, press down and rise up. Okay. All right. Step the, our opposite. What do we have front foot last? What was, do we remember?
Right foot.
Yeah, okay. Step the right foot back. Come into a heel up lunge for now. Just a high lunge. And then lower the back foot. It's about an angle. It's not so much parallel. It helps the hips if you turn the back toes in a little bit. Front knee is right over the ankle, not forward of it. And again, you can use the counter near you if you want to reach for a wall. Press from the core of the pelvis all the way out to the outer back heel. Work the outer heel down and then pull from the outer heel back up to the glute. Front foot, push the heel in. The front shin is pressing forward as the inner front thigh is moving back and down. And then stretch the arms up. Your front leg hand, in my case, my left leg is forward, so my left hand grabs the right wrist. So your front leg hand grabs the back leg arm wrist and stretch over towards the front leg side. So you're just tilting slightly sideways. Not a big movement. Keep pressing the feet and push the feet away from each other as much as you're pulling them towards each other. And release. Oof. Push up. Step back first with a heel up lunge. Find your high lunge. The front thigh, you know, you can do a high lunge to where the front thigh is parallel to the floor or not. It's more important where the knee is, not so much where your thigh is. So the knee is not crawling forward. It'd be better if the knee was a little behind the ankle rather than forward of it. Then lower the back foot at an angle. Press from the core of the pelvis out through the outer edge of the back foot, and then pull back up from the back heel to the glute. Rotate the ribs forward. Again, if it's intense, narrow your stance, like bring your back foot up a little bit. So play with where your position is today. Then stretch up. Right hand grabs the left wrist, or front leg hand grabs the back leg
wrist. That is a very strange sentence. Your front leg hand. I could put a lot more prepositions in there, but I'm not. And articles, but no. Really pull up and out of the QL to get into the back. Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. Come back. All right, we're doing it again, just a slightly different stretch. So let me explain it to you because sometimes it's a little hard to figure it out once you're in the lunge. So the one we just did was just side, right, to get the side. On the next one, we'll be in the lunge. We'll slightly come forward and twist to try to get the QL right back here and the lats to try to get this place. So when we went sideways, we got here, and we're just gonna pull in and try to bow out the back on the lunge on that side. All right, right leg back, back foot down, arms up, back foot hand grabs the front leg wrist. And then as you arc over, but before you arc over to the side, pull the ribs back and bow slightly. Just bow in, tuck the tailbone like crazy. You'll feel more stretch across the back quad as well. So if you pull in and you slightly tilt more diagonal, not directly to the side, but kind of frontish side, and really reach, bow the back, and release. Oh, that feels nice. Change sides. Back foot down at an angle, work the feet. So your legs have to work here. If the legs are not doing the job, if you're not pulling together and pushing apart, careful, then you risk hurting something actually. So bring the legs to the party. They've got to do their job. All right, front knee, be careful that it doesn't crawl forward. Press through the legs and then pull back up into the core of the pelvis. Oh, arms up. So you're facing the torso towards where your front knee is facing. And the front leg hand grabs the back leg wrist. And then bow, pull your side ribs in, tuck your tailbone like crazy. You should feel a little more stretch across the front of the quadricep. The legs are strong, tuck the tailbone like crazy, pull the wrist back, the ribs back, side waistline, and then just arc slightly to the side-ish and find that spot. You have to move around to find the QL, that spot right in the middle back on the side. And release. Hydration, sorry. I'm telling you, my back feels 100% better. Like I just leaned without wincing. I was crippled last night. Oh, good. All right, feels good. Come on down. Let's try, before you come down, let's try the squat again and see if there's any, and Shelley, what I'd have you do, you can stand on your mat and you can have your heels up on the blanket and just reach this way, right? So you have some stability. So try the roll again, just a little post test here to see if anything opened up. Maybe, maybe not. Depends on how much you were using your legs. So the eccentric stretch, engaging the muscle, is the healthiest and most efficient way to get into tight spots. We think we have to bounce. All right, so feet a little bit turned out. Take the bum back, try to keep the knees, they will start to come forward, but try to keep the knees back as best you can. And then you can press them apart and hug with the knees, however far you go. Still pretty intense. That's good, Shelley, right there. Yeah, lengthen the spine, reach for the pool. There you go. Okay, all right. All right, that's enough. Come on down. Have your strap near you on the block. So if you put a block, let me show you this so when you come down, you won't be confused too much. The block is going to go under my head. So if I'm on my right side, the right arm just gets out of the way and you put here. So come to this position. And the knees are bent. So you're totally stacked. Your hips are totally stacked. You kind of bump your bum back behind you a little bit. Yeah. The sticky mat is sticky for a reason. It's like you can't get your, right? Then draw your top knee up towards, I'm going to go top and bottom because I think we're all on different sides. Well, we're on one of two different sides. And hold the strap in the top leg hand. In my case, my left leg is high, but if your right leg's up, that's okay too. So the tendency here is going to be to roll the hips back. So roll forward, even if the leg comes forward, and start to straighten the leg. So it's not straight up to the ceiling, but it's going in that direction. Right? So you're holding with the same leg, same arm. Yeah, there you go. And try to roll totally on your bottom hip so you're not rolling back. And then without rolling the hips back, you can bend the knee and start to try to take your knee behind your shoulder. It won't go, but that's the direction without rolling back. So look, the tendency is put the block down one notch lower, Patrick. There you go. There, it's just there. Sometimes I put the block on the headset and it turns it off. So you guys let me know. All right. So you're in kind of this weird, almost half happy baby, but not quite. All right. And see if you can get your elbow on the inside of the thigh. And without rolling back, so you have to use your core, strengthen the low belly, tailbone down, and you just start to move towards straight. Doesn't have to be straight. And release. Move the block out of the way. We're just going to work, keep the strap on the same side. And this is not comfortable. Scoot yourself onto your back, although I couldn't even do that last night. All right, you still got the same leg up, whatever that is for you. Slide your hands down at the end, each end of the strap, elbows on the floor. Press the elbows into the floor, lift your shoulder blades and snuggle them under you. And have a little bit of tension on the strap, not an incredible amount, but just a little bit. And then outer rotate the thigh bone and inner rotate. Ooh-ha. Outer rotate. Pause at the outer rotation and then inner rotate. So I find that I can dig into a lot of tightness here very subtly. Just inner and outer from the thigh bones. You don't have to work your leg that hard, Patrick. And slide your hands down the strap so your elbows come to the floor. There you go. So you can puff your chest up. And then just inner, outer. And if the leg doesn't like to go straight, if your hamstrings are tight, let the leg come out in an angle so that it's not just killing your hamstrings. A little bit of a hamstring stretch, but not a killer one. If you've got, actually, I can rotate more if I let the foot come away from my forehead a little bit. If I have it coming way up, it constrains it a little bit more. All right, the next time the thigh bone is turned out, outer rotated, which means the toes are kind of turned out as well, take both straps into the same leg hand. So in my case, left leg, left hand. If your right leg is up, right leg, right hand. Keeping the other knee, the bent knee, straight up. Don't let it come down, and press both sides of the sacrum down evenly. And as you start to take your straight leg out to the side, you'll notice the other sacrum will start to pull away from the floor. Put it back down. Use your core. So you not bite. You can drop your knee out, and that will certainly bring it down. But we want to use core here. So the outer opposite hip. So in my case, so you guys have your two of you have your right leg. Your left sacrum wants to work down the left side of your body. It's a core work. And then inhale, come up. Switch hands. So the other hand, the opposite hand takes both straps. Push into your bent leg foot, the foot on the floor. Lift your hips and scoot them over to the side of your straight leg. So if your left leg's up, you scoot to the left. If your right leg's up, you scoot to the right. And then roll down oh my gosh, the left arm reaches out, T position, both shoulder blades on the floor. Oh yeah. And then pull your inner thighs back. Try to send your bum back to the wall behind you.
The bottom leg can stay bent. It can be straight. You can play with whatever. Oh no. Okay. And the outer top hip, roll it away from the ribs, just as we did when we did this in another configuration. The outer top hip wants to roll up towards your armpit, pull it away. Lengthen the space between your outer hip and your armpit on the straight leg side. And then you stay here until you lose all feeling into that leg. Starting to tingle now. That's getting right into. It's working. It's working. All right. Oh, come back up. Stretch both legs long, both arms overhead long, and just give yourself a big stretch and just notice if one side feels a little different than the other. Tell you, they're both starting to feel a little better. And then change sides. All right, running out of time, but let's get this one going here. All right, so you start, slide your hands down the strap, the elbows are on the floor so you can lift your chest, lift your shoulder blades a little bit, snuggle them under you, and tack the head of the arm bones down. So again, the straight leg can come away from the body at a diagonal and do outer rotation, inner rotation. In fact, that's a good place to start as you take the leg out in a diagonal and inner rotate the thigh, from the thigh, not from the foot. And then maybe you start to pull the leg a little more perpendicular, but that's not a requirement. That's not like that's better than, it's just different depending on what's going on with you. Just so for me, the outer rotation, I feel much more intensity of the stretch in the hip and up the IT band. You might feel it on the inner rotation. You may not feel it at all. All right. Strap in both straps in the same hand, same leg. Outer rotate the straight leg. And again, the leg can be at a diagonal away from you. It does not have to be straight up and down. Other knee stays bent and straight up to the ceiling. Use your core, especially the core on the opposite side of your straight leg, and let the straight leg come out to the side a little bit, but the bent knee stays straight up and down. And both sides of the sacrum are evenly weighted. Pull your outer opposite hip down towards the floor. Use the core. Your leg will not go as far out to the side here because it's too much work. Inhale, come back up to center. Inner rotate the straight leg. Switch the straps, both ends of the strap to the opposite hand from the straight leg. Press into your bent leg foot. Lift your hips and bump them over towards your straight leg side and roll all the way so the bent leg is all the way on the floor and the straight leg is roughly parallel to the floor. Stretch your other arm out in a T position, snuggle your shoulder blades underneath you. The head is going straight up to the ceiling. And then roll your outer top hip away from your ribs. Ooh. Doggy. Lengthen the side body. Even if it means you let your leg come away from your shoulder, the straight leg, like it's not quite so straight out perpendicular, it comes more at an angle. That's your volume control. You can adjust there so you can get the side body long. And release. Bump it out. Come back. Pull your knees into your chest. You can hold behind the knees on the thighs. It's like child's pose on your back, or you can hold the top of the knees. The knees are kind of going towards the armpits. Yes, you can do a happy baby too. That's a nice one to do. Do anything you need right here. It feels so good. Before final relaxation. And find yourself in final relaxation. Supported as you need it. And settle in. Begin to deepen your breath. Yes, we could stay here another 30 minutes, and at home you can. We're going to start to move around gradually, stretching and yawning, wiggling. And slowly draw your knees up, roll to your side, and rest there for a few moments. No hurry to pop up into your day. Just take this one last precious moment before you meet your day. And slowly, on your inhale, come up to seated position of your choice. Just sit well wherever you are. Oh my gosh, I think this yoga works. My back feels so much better. Draw the palms together in gratitude for a practice so old and so contemporary. Namaste.
Namaste.